going on, guys? T2RX6 here, back for another Transformers review, and this time Murder Prime has demanded that I review him. And Murder Prime is Flame Burst Optimus Prime, and he's got a bit of a different deco here, and he kind of goes really nice with Cyberfire Bumblebee, who I like to refer to as Demon Bee, who I believe I will review next week. And yeah, he's an Autobot with red light piping. Now, Optimus Prime comes with his eyes painted blue, which looks really strange because you get this red outline on the blue. I undid the screw on the back of his head, and I took it out and I soaked it in rubbing alcohol overnight, and then I wiped off the blue, and then I actually painted it with a deeper red just to get the effect better. And man, he's a nasty looking Optimus Prime, and I really like how this guy looks. So let's zoom on out here a little so you can get the full effect. Now, this Optimus Prime has a bit of a different color scheme. He's got still the same red, but he's got a much more dark blue. It's almost to the point of being black, but not quite. And you can see as you go down, just like instead of flames, he's got this lightning type deco. Actually kind of looks more like lava because of the color scheme. And it really translates well because the Optimus Prime mold has these solar panel type things on the roof. And this time it just looked really great cast in this orange color. He's got pretty good articulation, full range of motion, double ball joint here. Ball joint for the wrist. He is rather leggy though. Pretty tall. For at least the leg portion, makes his torso feel really small in comparison. I will push him back here to blur and Cheetor. You can see that he is extremely little torso comparatively, like when you look at Cheetor to the right. And big legs, and as a Voyager he's about the same size and width, so that is a little bit disappointing, but he's just so cool with that red eyes that I knew I had to have him. Now he does come with an awesome accessory, and it's this gun that has a handle that's folded in like this, and you simply pull it out and you can put it in his fist or any of the mech tech holes that he has around. And he's got a pretty nice looking rifle with some cool flame decals. Or, alternatively, you can pull down on what can only imagine is like the cartridge, and it'll flip out an energon axe, and then you just kind of rotate this in and it locks. And he's got this really nice transparent clear piece in the center here. And then, of course, the energon axe. And then you just make him hold the barrel of his gun. And now, Murder Prime is ready to take somebody's face. Maybe their whole life. I don't know. He's kind of a scary guy with this big axe and those red eyes. So, enough about him in this mode. Let's go and work on taking him to his alt mode. And this took a little bit for me to figure out. So what you want to do is you're going to rotate his fists on in and up into this area, and then rotate the side of the truck so the wheels are facing forward. And you're gonna want, they tell you in the instructions to mess with the actual hub areas right now, but we're not gonna worry about that. Now the top here is super stiff and hard to pull out. I assume over time they'll loosen up, but it's held in by the tabs. Disconnect it like that. Now on the shoulder, you can see you have a peg, and then you have the little hole here, and you're going to want to work it just so the peg and the hole end up lining up, which does take a little bit of doing because of the double ball joint, especially on this one arm for me. It's probably going to be different for you, but this one ball joint here really doesn't like moving very easy. So once you get that all pegged in, it should be fairly tight. And then you'll just kind of leave it like this for now on the side. And we'll do that again for the other side here. And you'll see this side is a lot easier for me to manipulate that double ball joint. So you just leave that like this, and put his chest down like that. Now, what you can do is come around to the back here, open up this back, and flip his head on in. And they tell you to close it up. That's as closed as it's going to get. It doesn't close all the way. So now you're going to kind of play around with the front of the truck here. And the torso piece that went over his windshield is going to come straight down. And you're going to fold it on in. And you're going to see that you're forming the front of the truck here as you arrange the arms properly. And then there's some tabs, and they're all going to tab into each other right in the front. And take your top piece, make sure they're lined up because there's also a tab there. Tab it in, and then you'll slide it back so the pegs go into the holes right underneath the chest. And then slide the front of the truck up. And this is a big problem to me. Why was this painted a dark silver and this wasn't even touched? At least if it was that darker silver like they use on this Prime, it wouldn't be quite so noticeable. But they used the light gray and it just looks awful on there. This is the point where you can kind of work over these wheel hubs if you want, and just kind of get it into a position that it looks like it's going to touch the ground. You may have to mess with it a little, and that is kind of a complaint with this mold, but we'll get to that bridge when we get there. So leave that like this, and now you got kind of the front of the truck. And now what you're going to do is take these back pieces, if they came in like mine did, just rotate them out, and then you're simply going to get these over the top of these nubs. And that's all that's really holding them, is just the friction like that. And just get all this out of the way for now in the back, and leave this blade open. Actually no, you know what? I will be right back. Okay, so I had to get that foam ring there. So anyway, you're going to take these front panels and you can kind of loop them around and take the gas tank, which really looks like a flamethrower type tank, and just push this all the way back. It's on a 2-lever bar system. And then everything here, there's a tab here and a slot there, and it should tab in. And this is where I kind of don't like this mold a little. It just doesn't seem to tab in very tightly. So then we can go to the back legs here. And what you're going to do, you can leave these out actually, like this for now. Take the back part of the truck here, and you're going to kind of rotate it on up so it's mostly formed. And then come down to the legs, move the feet out of the way, and then just flip this piece around on both sides, which is kind of a cool little engineering trick they did. And then you should be able to fold the feet on in, and then everything should collapse down pretty nice into a flat truck front, as you can see. So again, collapse it down, and then you can peg these in together. And then once this is pegged in together, peg in the top pieces of your truck here. You can adjust the smokestacks now, or you can do it later. And you're basically going to ratchet the legs upwards into position here. And with everything all pegged together, it should fit right on the top and peg on in. Nice and tight on both sides here. And then all you're going to do is take your canisters, and you'll see you have the plug there. Just plug it right on in both sides. And now you've got the alt mode. And this alt mode to me has a couple problems, and you're going to need to fiddle with these wheels to get it just right. I believe it's like that. The alt mode has a problem because A, things don't really quite want to stay tabbed in as well as they should. You can see it's separating the top here, and that's an issue a little bit. The other issue I have is that these shoulder guards that he had actually tend to sit about the same height as the wheel. So he doesn't roll as well as he could because he's always resting on those shoulder guards. And as far as I can see, I'm not doing anything wrong that would position them more inwards. He just kind of sits on them a little. And you can get him to roll, but usually all his tires are not rolling at the same time. Right now, the backs are rolling. The front is actually not doing much of anything. And playing around with it, you bend some things around a little, then things will come unplugged, and it's just, you're fighting with it and fighting with it to try to get it to work properly. I don't really like that about it. But other than that, he's kind of cool. And since I don't roll my Transformers around very much, it's okay. To store his gun, you're going to flip out that handle again, and you're actually going to stick the barrel inside the back of the cab here, and then just kind of take this and plug it into, if I can, the rear mech tech port here, which is his trailer hitch port. It's hard to get in there because the handle wants to flop back to close, and then it just sits like that or however you want. So it's pretty good. Now he is a bit of a smaller Optimus Prime. When you compare him to the old Voyager, you can see the old one is actually a little bit of a bigger truck. It's a little taller, about the same length though. A little bit wider actually too. This is the redo of it with the hooks, but still, this is the Revenge of the Fallen, Dark of the Moon. He actually feels really small when you sit him next to a Deluxe, because the Deluxe just feels way too big comparatively, and it's kind of a shame because this is the mold that has all the crazy lightning effects for Bumblebee too, and it's just a little big when you go there. And the last review, I had done this activator, and even though the car is a little bit squished, the scale actually feels better with Prime, and even then, it's still a little big. I mean, big rigs tend to be a lot bigger than, you know, the height of the car to its hood, but it's okay. They kind of look cool next to each other. I really am looking forward to seeing the Cyberfire Bumblebee next to him, also with the red eyes. I think the two of them in their robot modes are going to look pretty spectacular together. So, yeah, this is T2RX6. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I will see you next week with the Cyberfire version of Bumblebee. See you later, guys.